All right, today we're diving into a really special one. It's one of the most direct, most uncompromising, and honestly challenging spiritual texts ever written, the Ashtavakra Gita. And what makes it so different is that it doesn't offer you a path to freedom. It pretty much shouts from page one that you are already free and that the whole search for freedom, that's the only thing getting in your way. So let's explore this pretty radical idea. So our story starts. And the teacher isn't some grand divine figure. It's a boy named Ashtavakra. And his name literally means 8 bends, because, well, he was born with 8 severe physical deformities. Now, this isn't just a random bit of trivia. It's the entire core of his teaching, that who you truly are has absolutely nothing to do with the body you're in. And the student, the one seeking this incredible wisdom, it wasn't some regular person. It was King Janaka, a powerful philosopher king who had all the wealth and knowledge in the world, but he still felt trapped. And he asks this one simple question that kicks off the entire text. A question we all kind of ask ourselves. How do I get knowledge? How do I get free? And the answer he's about to get isn't just going to give him information. It is going to completely shatter his reality. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around how radical the teaching is, we first have to understand the teacher. His origin story, which comes from the epic Mahabharata, is just as deep as his philosophy. It really explains how a boy with this cursed body could have such a rock-solid, unshakable wisdom. Now, this is where the story gets wild. So while he's still in the womb, Ashtavakra is already a master of the scriptures. He hears his own father, the sage Kahoda, making mistakes while reciting them. So what does he do? He corrects him from inside the womb. You'd think his dad would be proud, right? Nope. He was so enraged by the insolence that he cursed his own unborn son. This really drives home a key point. Ashtavakra's wisdom was already there, totally separate from his physical body.
But the story doesn't end there. Years later, his father gets defeated in a huge philosophical debate and is, well, presumed dead. So Ashtavakra, at just 12 years old, travels to King Janaka's court to clear his father's name and challenge the very scholar who beat him. And this sets the stage for one of the most incredible intellectual showdowns in all of Indian mythology.
Before we get to that debate, it's actually super helpful to compare the Ashtavakra Gita with the more famous Bhagavad Gita. So, the Bhagavad Gita teaches the warrior Arjuna how to live a spiritual life while doing his duty on a battlefield. But the Ashtavakra Gita, it tells King Janaka to see that duty, action, and even the world itself are all just ideas, illusions. You could say it's like the graduate school of spirituality. It's not for beginners. So picture this, 12-year-old Ashtavakra walks into the court and all the royal scholars and guards just start laughing at his twisted body. This was his response. He basically told them they were just leather workers judging the quality of the skin without seeing the truth inside. King Janaka heard this and was just blown away. He knew right then and there that he was in the presence of a true master. So the debate with a court scholar, Vandan, was this incredible battle of wits. They're going back and forth listing cosmic principles by number. 1, they match. 3, they match. All the way up to 12, perfect match. But then Vandan gets to the number 13 and he stumbles. He can't complete the verse. And Ashtavakra, he jumps in instantly, finishes it, and wins the whole debate. Just like that, he frees his father and proves his absolute authority. His body might have been crooked, but his knowledge was perfectly straight. So, what did this kid sage actually teach the king? This is where we get into his core philosophy, and it's a total mind-bender. It's called Ajatavada, and it is probably the most radical kind of non-dualism you'll ever come across. Ajatavada literally means the doctrine of no birth or non-creation. And get this, it doesn't just say the world is an illusion. It says the world, with all of its problems and all of its spiritual paths, never even happened in the first place. It argues there is and only ever has been one single undivided reality. That's it. And the implication of that is just staggering. I mean, think about it. If the universe was never really created as a separate thing, then reality was never broken. There's no original sin, no fall from grace. This means the entire spiritual project, trying to get somewhere or become enlightened, is based on a huge misunderstanding from the get-go. King Janaka, after hearing all this, has this massive aha moment, and he uses this beautiful metaphor to explain it. A wave might look different from a bubble, but they're both just water, right? In the same way, you, me, the stars, this entire universe, we all look different, but we're all just expressions of that one single consciousness. Nothing is actually separate. Okay, so if we just go with this idea of non-dual reality, it leads us to the Gita's most controversial teaching. This is the one that really challenges the foundation of most spiritual traditions out there. And that's the idea that the very act of trying to get free might just be the ultimate trap.
So this one verse right here says it all. This is a direct shot at the heart of classical yoga, which literally defines itself as stilling the fluctuations of the mind. Ashtavakra is saying that the attempt to control your mind is just another thought, another fluctuation. It just reinforces the idea that there's a separate me who has to do something to get peace later on. The effort itself is the problem.
So Ashtavakra gives us this purely psychological definition. Bondage isn't some cosmic state you're stuck in. It's just the mind's habit of grabbing onto things and pushing other things away. It's longing for enlightenment or grieving over a loss. Liberation, then, isn't some blissful state you achieve. It's just what's left over when that grasper, that habit of wanting and not wanting, simply stops.
Now, as you can probably imagine, a teaching this radical is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's inspired millions for sure, but it is also incredibly easy to misunderstand, especially for us today. So let's talk about the risks.
In some modern spiritual circles, this idea of no practice gets taken to a real extreme. It can be used as something called spiritual bypassing. Basically, using the ultimate truth that all is one to avoid dealing with your own personal trauma, your psychological stuff, or your ethical responsibilities. It's a sneaky way of saying, hey, it's all an illusion, so my bad behavior doesn't really matter. Which, of course, leads us to the big question, right? If the Gita says trying to still your mind is just another trap, does that mean we should all just give up? Drop all discipline, all meditation, all effort? Well, for a mind that isn't ready, dropping all discipline can be a total disaster. It could lead to nihilism, where someone stops taking care of their body because it's not real. Or it can lead to just pure mental chaos, where you drop the structure of a practice and you don't find freedom, you just get completely steamrolled by every whim desire. And what's so fascinating is that the Gita itself warns us about this. Ashtavakra puts this critical warning in later in the text. He makes it super clear that the instruction to just drop everything is for a very qualified student, someone like King Janaka, whose mind is already pretty pure and stable. For a weak or unprepared mind, he says, meditation is still absolutely necessary. Ultimately, I think this is the key takeaway. The Ashtavakra Gita was never meant to be a self-help book for having a better life in the world. It's not about being a more peaceful person or a more successful person. It's a manual for the complete dissolution of the personal self and the world as you see it, until all that's left is the infinite, perfect awareness that you already are. And so we end with a question that the Gita basically leaves us with. It's not asking you to believe anything. It's inviting you to run an experiment. Just for a moment, just entertain the idea that you are already whole, you're already free, you're already complete. If you really truly felt that, right this second, what would be left for you to do? What would change? That's the real inquiry at the heart of this incredible text.